So what's up, everybody? We have Lord, aka Eric Louie from Norcal, legendary Falcon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. So, what are you up to these days? You're not attending any of the foundries or anything.
Right now, so I just graduated last December and I'm in that grind, posting my resume, applying for jobs. Right now I'm working as a temporary at a employee benefit company or insurance company, but it's like not really related to my major. I majored in computer engineering. So right now I've just been busy applying and, you know, practicing for interviews. So, this could be a good practice as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people knew you for like being this like hidden boss. Like it's like, oh, like, are you going to NorCal? Do you know this guy named Lord? And so, like, you've always been this mysterious guy, but not too many people know about you. So, why don't you tell us a little bit of how you got into Melee?
I first started getting to Melee back in 2006. It was back when YouTube wasn't a very big thing back then. It was just starting to grow. And when I first started playing Melee as a little kid, like in middle school, I was like, it would be cool if I like entered a tournament one day. And then in 2006, when YouTube became slightly bigger, I'm like, I wonder what competitive Smash looks like. So I YouTube competitive Smash, and then the first thing that popped up was like SSBM hardcore match with like Bomb Soldier and might have been Musashi, and
Oh,
saw
okay.
that, yeah, and then I've never seen anyone like move that fast in Melee, and my mind was completely blown. It's like, all right, I'm playing this game, and I'm gonna get good. So it started back in '06, and I was a Falcon main back then. And as I kept playing, I started messing around with other characters, and I picked up Falcon back in like 2009 or 2010. And I played him so much in friendlies that my Falcon got better than my Falco. So that's how I became a Falcon main. And from there, I I primarily played with one of my friends, Nemesis or Bryant. And I think he helped me get a lot better because he was only slightly better than me when I met him. But before I even play anyone else, I just practice tech skill, and everyone has to go through that grind. And I just practice little situations at a time. What can I do in this situation? What can I do in this situation? So I never felt like I got hit by a skill ceiling or some peak, and I'm always constantly trying to improve.
So you pretty much played most of your career in just one player mode, I take it?
One player, maybe only at the beginning when I first started, just practicing tech skill, and then from there, I just played with my group of high school friends, and that's how I improved.
Okay. What was your first tournament?
The first tournament was at San Jose State bi-weeklies, hosted by Nick, White Boy Nick, and SJSU hosted these bi-weeklies that had like doubles and singles. And back then I wasn't the greatest player. And I only entered teams in that first tournament with my friend. And then the first match was like, all right, we got Isaiah and King versus Lord and my friend. And then we just got like bopped really hard. And from there, I was like, wow, that's how I feel. So, and
Uh,
then I attended the first actual singles tournament, and it was like next bi-weekly at San Jose State, where I made it pretty far. I think I got like fourth. I lost to Bob Money. He was very popular. D-Bar had all those combo videos. So it was a very close match, Doc versus Falco, and then he just clutched it out. But from there, I just like, wow, this game's amazing.
so it was really close.
Yeah.
Was like were people really surprised because you literally come out of nowhere? It's like, oh, Bob Money, this really good player, almost lost to this mysterious guy named Lord.
Pretty much. That was pretty much my life back in '06 to like 2010 because no one knew me. I barely entered any tournaments, only like the ones that were pretty close to my house. And every time I enter, it's like, what the who's this guy? Who's this like little Asian kid beating everyone?
What was your first big win?
First big win. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I guess it was still back in '07 or '08. where I think Nick hosted a tournament at his place, and there were all these, so top NorCal players were there. BTZO, Zoo was there. Spanish were probably there, but I it was back when all the stages were like the stage selection was really wonky. There was like Mute City and these crazy stages. So I had to play against Zoo in one of the matches in Falco Diddles, and he beat me the first match. And then for the second match, I was like, I don't think I can beat Zoo like legitimately, so I need some crazy stage. So I went to Mute City on the second stage, and then it was really close, and I like just barely won. And then Zoo went to FOD on the last match, and somehow I won. And then Zoo wasn't too happy. Like a few moments later, I was just playing friendlies, and then Zoo comes up to me. It's like, "Hey, let's keep playing." And I'm like, "Oh God." He seemed
Salt.
pretty salty, but it's this way of him expressing himself, and that was a lot of fun. Because when I miss when people were like get salty at you, because that doesn't happen to me too often anymore. When you get a little bit more known.
Oh, trust me, I think Gatu is pretty salty.
That's true. That's true.
So so Zoo, like somewhere around that line, Zoo, was one of the biggest believers of you. Like he would
Yeah.
always talk about like, oh my gosh, like you have yet to play Lord, and you kind of had this like mini cult following, where it's like, oh, like, but dude, Lord can win, like, like. I think you kind of know what I'm talking about, right? The Lord
Yeah, yeah.
disciples.
Lord disciples. They're just my friends, but the name just kind of stuck with them from all the people that hang out with me.
So in the meantime, you only went to tournaments that were close to you. You play a lot with your San Jose friends. Why, why didn't you want to ever really travel or go out of your way to kind of take it a little bit more seriously, the
I,
competitive aspects?
I think the biggest thing for me is I'm very uncomfortable traveling to new places alone, even though there are all smashers are pretty friendly, and it's just being out of my comfort zone, and it's something I really need to address. Like I shouldn't be afraid of just taking a plane by myself, calling someone up, hey, I need to stay somewhere, and overall, it's just I need to be more open to other places and try to get out of that comfort zone. And I'm still trying to address that problem. But that's the primary reason why I don't travel as much. It's not money. I remember one of the tournaments, I think Homemade Waffles wanted to, have a donation drive. Like they have enough money to fund me to go to New York and play in a round robin. And back then I was like, I have school and everything. But mainly it's just I'm very uncomfortable just traveling by myself.
So it was more of like an uncomfort thing because I always thought, well, like I don't know. This is like my assumption that you took school really seriously and like that was just your priority and that's why. But you're telling me that it's more of it was a general discomfort.
That was the biggest thing, yeah. And I think my parents are kind of like, spending all this money to just go to New York and play games. Like you should be focusing on school. The typical Asian parent thing.
Right.
And I try to be the obedient little kid.
So out of curiosity, like it seems just based on like how good you are that you've spent a lot of time playing, and how did you maintain your skill? Because early on in '06 to '08, like if you have good tech skill, like you're on the upper end of the skill curve, and then going up until now, like you're still doing really well.
Yeah.
How's that still happening, even though you're not playing with top players all the time?
I think the biggest thing is whenever you play friendlies with, a friend or a random stranger, you should always be experimenting with different options. Because when people see you play in tournament, it's like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, how do you do that? But I've done it so many times in friendlies that I've seen it hundreds and thousands of times. But for someone who plays a bit more safe, they're like, I've never seen this option done before. So I think the biggest thing is to experiment in friendlies. The second thing is I think my main role when I play is everything you do should relate to how your opponent plays. People generally say, oh, rolling's bad. But if your opponent doesn't punish the roll, then rolling becomes good. So everything is kind of conditional. It's a big like case statement. Like if he does this, then I do this. So at a higher level, I believe Smash is like a big paper scissors rock game, and that's how I see the game, and that's how I try to improve, just with experimenting. And like if I get hit in a certain situation, like I think about it, like what can I do here? So I just address it little problems at a time.
So in that case, because 20GX seems to be, I'm not going to say that they just go for the optimal because they, focus on reads, but what do you think about that general kind of line of study?
I think that's fine actually. I guess you could say I'm a believer in 20GX, but I think I'm also a firm believer in like state trading stocks and taking slightly more risk when you're in the lead. And because generally when people see 20GX, it's like, just the up throw, up throw, up throw. But that's what I did too. That's how I beat Gatsu. I did the same thing. So when people say, oh yeah, Lord plays hella janky, it's like, not really. I did do the same 20GX stuff too. So I'm completely cool with them.
I see. So going back, you play Falcon, and you know, you've experimented with a lot of options, on your own, and you have a very unique style. But are there other Falcons that have influenced you in terms of your how you approach the game or how you approach playing Falcon?
Hmm. It's kind of funny because usually when I watch other Falcons, I don't really try to like be play exactly like them. I just think about what they do in this option, and I might take that, and then I might see like S2J, see, oh, what does he do when Fox nares him? Does he dash dance grab? Does he shield it? So I take little things from every Falcon and just incorporate it into my style. And I guess the biggest influence, I can't say. I just take bits of everyone and just implement it with me.
Well, how about in your earlier days? Who are the Falcons that you were watching the most, or Falcons and
Must
Falcons, I guess?
must have been Isaiah because he created the whole framework of Falcon, and I really like Scar's combo videos, so that's where we got the Scar jump, and like I took Jeff's his drop zones, and Falco's I really like Zoo, and I really like Shizwiz, but my Falco is like rusty now. He's still in the works, but I guess mainly it was Isaiah, Jeff, and Darkring because there were like three primary Falcons back then, and a little bit of Hacks too.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got Scar emotes. So, what was it? You've traveled a lot more. You've been able to go to Evo and stuff. How were those experiences for you to compete with people other than just from California all the time?
That's really enjoyable. I love going to Evo for like everyone's there for just fighting games in general, not just Smash. Because I play a little bit of Street Fighter, and playing against other like new people is always interesting because you get to run a different flowchart against them. Like, because you don't know what they're gonna do. Are they gonna do something silly, something really smart? So whenever I play new people, it's like the rule is to play dumb or assume they're dumb until they earn respect. So maybe with the first talk, I might just like throw out random nairs and do something stupid, and if it works, that's fine. But playing against new people is something I could still work on because I might get a little nervous, and it's always a lot better to expose yourself with a variety of people rather than just a small local group of smashers. So I really enjoy competing against new people.
Do you find that you get more of a large line from out of state players because they're like I've heard of this guy, I watched his videos, like I really want to play him. Do you ever experience that at nationals now?
Yes, but it's funny too because not everyone knows me as well. So it's like kind of half half. It's like, whoa, are you Lord? I've watched your videos. Let's play. While the other half is like, who are you? It's like I'm Lord. It's like Lord. I think I've heard of that name. So it's like a mixed bag.
I see, got it. So you mentioned Street Fighter and how you play it, and when I play you, I can see how, especially when I play like footsies just around a sweeping roundhouse range, that you have like very elaborate options. So can you tell me how Street Fighter has kind of influenced that? Because I'm making the assumption that Street Fighter influences a lot of your footsies.
It actually did because in Street Fighter, there's a thing about whiff punishing. You know, if they miss a move, then you punish it with your move. And what I do with Falcon a little bit too is if someone is going with a nair, like let's say in Falcon Diddles, Falcon does a nair from like across the stage.
Mm.
Usually you have enough time to react and I guess whiff punish it with a up angled forward tilt. And just having a good knowledge of how far your forward tilt range is or your tilts or just any ground move in general, aerials as well. It really helps you practice whiff punishing. And I think if you're a beginning Falcon, the first thing you should always learn to do is to dash dance grab. Because if anyone misses a move against Falcon, typically you should be able to dash dance grab it. And that will lead into all these other options. And that's his primary way of whiff punishing any whiff move.
So just to explain to people, whiff punishing is when somebody throws at a hitbox, they miss, and because they miss, they have a extended box that you can hit, and then you hit that hitbox.
Yeah.
I also see you do another example. It's like when Marth down tilts, you forward smash. Is that something intentional, or do you do it on accident?
Sometimes, well, actually, most of the time it's reactionary, but whenever I'm trying to whiff punish, I get very twitchy. So if they could easily bait me out if they like dash in and then way dash down, and then I would hopefully assume they down tilt, but they didn't, so I'll just forward smash. But it's also a option select too, because while I'm forward smashing, I'm also holding down to crouch cancel. So if I do get hit by the down tilt, I can just immediately crouch cancel and just dash in and grab them. So it's a bit of a like it covers both options. If they do an aerial, they get hit. If they do a down tilt, I won't get punished too hard, and I can still follow up.
So it's like a really good weighted risk reward.
Yeah. Same thing with like doing a raptor boost too, because you pull yourself back.
Oh, I hate when you do that to me. When I run up grab and you punish me, I think you like got me a couple times with that.
It still works on most Sheiks too. Worked on Okami.
So are you playing Street Fighter V? Do you play other games right now, or what are you?
I played a little bit of Street Fighter 5. Maybe not too much. Maybe like spent like a day or two. I'm still waiting for my other friends to get it so we can all play. But any other games I play, I really got into Rocket League because it's a totally different game from like Smash and Street Fighter, and I suck at it. And even if you suck at Rocket League, it's still really, really fun. So that's what I've been up to. Just bit of Smash, bit of Street Fighter, and a lot more time in Rocket League.
Nice. Are you gonna ever try to pick that up competitively, or is that just a fun hobby?
Definitely a fun hobby. I've seen the videos. It's like I'm never gonna be able to do this. It's too intense. And then when you get really serious, you like get mad at your teammates, and it's like, yeah, it's too much.
But you do all these crazy stuff in Melee.
It's hard when you imagine hitting the ball in your head, and then when you do it in game, you just like totally whiff the ball, and it's happened so many times. It's a very different game.
Aw. Have you? So you do a lot of friendly sessions with people. Have you ever thought about streaming at all, or is that something that you just don't think would be interesting? Or
It's funny because like there's a certain phase during my senior year where I was setting up my whole stream. Like the whole stream is set up actually. I have like all the donation links. I have all the description. I have everything's been set up, the UI, and then once I set it up, I streamed for like one night, and then I was like, I just stopped for some reason. I think I was just like focused on school stuff, but I think it was more fun making the stream than like actually streaming. But once I do get a stable job that's engineering related, because right now it's like every time I get home, it's just like more studying, more applying. But once I have more time with the actual job, every time I get home, streaming is definitely a viable option for me. Because like I have this mic stand, like everything's set up. I have a webcam.
I was about to ask if either you had an elaborate setup or if you were just a musician of some sort, because that's something that the thing you have right now that I see is not normal to just have for the sake of just randomness.
Yeah, like I only got this because whenever I type on my keyboard, there's like little desk vibrations. So I have this mount on a different desk to avoid the vibrations. Because the one day I streamed, I was actually streaming net play, and I was playing on keyboard, like the typing keyboard.
Oh my gosh.
It's doable.
How is that?
It's actually very, very fun. People think it's like disrespectful, but to me, whenever I jump between net play and local play, and I use the regular GameCube controller, the input lag from net play throws me off when I jump back to CRT. But keyboard feels different enough where I can jump between CRT and net play without being confused on the timing. So I just stick with keyboard, and it's just more fun too because every time you do a combo, it's like you're typing an essay. That's what I think.
That just sounds like really, really miserable.
Yeah, but if you try it, it's not too bad. I think Nintendo has tried it. Zoo tried a little bit. It's definitely okay.
And yet you say you can't play Rocket League.
I can play, but it's a totally different genre for me. It's like racing and hitting a ball.
So you just got to get the right mindset.
Yeah, because when you miss the ball, you always get like very frustrated with yourself. I usually don't get too mad at myself when I play Smash, but in Rocket League, it's such an easy hit, and then you still miss it. It's like just gotta grind it out.
Got to have a ball.
Yeah.
So are you playing much now these days? Are you or
I'm playing like once a week, because luckily, San Jose State still has their little sessions, and occasionally, I think last week Berto went there. Spark goes there. Spark goes there. He's like a really good rising sheik in Norcal, and I just like bopping people, so I just go there.
so you get to see like the Smash like competitive community in frames, as in like you kind of like skip ahead in a time machine. Like, have you noticed anything like really evolve with the metagame in the past 2 years since you're like seldomly in and out?
I think the first thing that popped up was shield dropping. That was probably the biggest thing, because now whenever you hit someone on a platform, you're not safe. And when you watch really old videos, it's like whenever you're below the platform, you always had advantage, and now it's totally different. It's like you're disadvantaged if you're below the platform. That's the first thing. I think the second thing is pivoting. I didn't see it too much back in the old days, but now you have like Mart's 4-throw puff pivot F smash. You have all these 20GX Falcons doing the pivots, and I think those are the two primary techniques that have really changed Smash. I guess you can say punish game as well, but it's not really a technique. It's just more of a development over time, because people just get more optimal every year. So I think it's definitely changed in terms of just how people punish. Like, you do something stupid right now, you whiff any move, you can lose a stock. That's basically what happens when you play like Armada or any top 6 player.
Have you gotten the chance to play any of them, Genesis or anything like that, or?
Out of all the gods, I only played HBox and Armada. I played HBox at Toph's house back in San Jose. It was a long time ago. It was
NCR weekend, right?
yes, that was the one time I played them, and of course, Hungerbox is still really good. But when I played Armada, it was the day before Do You Fox With It?
Okay.
Yeah. No, the day before I'm Not Yelling.
Okay, so like a year
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Yeah, and then when I played them, like, I just thought about all my life choices. Because I thought, I was pretty good at this game. Played Armada, never took more than 2 stocks. I'm like, I could have been, like, what could I have done in these 8 years? Could have, like, cured cancer, could have, like, done something else. But I think it was okay, too, because, like, once you play Armada, you're not scared of any other player anymore. You've seen the best. So it was definitely a revelation playing, that caliber of a player.
Yeah, but you've always been kind of weak to floaty characters just because of like the lack of experience.
That's true. And I also don't go to that many tournaments. I don't practice too much against floaties. My friends don't play floaties. And I think the problem with me when I play is when I lose, I don't take it too seriously. And that could be why I'm maybe hitting a ceiling, but I'm not pushing myself hard enough. When I lose, I'm like, oh, you just outplayed me. So, but when I do that, Smash is always a fun thing to me. And I think when I push myself too hard, that's the point where it might not become as fun. So I just try to like keep it very like casual competitive.
So you're like on the cusp of like this is like just like a hobby. It's to unload stress and not add stress to your life.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Because there's like a lot more players, that are trying to take this full time. And now they're starting to get some resources to do that, but like you don't think you'll ever get to that point, right?
Probably not. Um, yeah, I always thought Smash was a really, really fun hobby, but I never thought to take it like become a job, get sponsored. But who knows? Things can change. People change, so I won't, doubt it.
So what are your plans for 2016 Smash?
2016 Smash. Well, the only national I go to is like Evo, so hopefully top 8 Evo. But I need an amazing bracket. I can't deal with any foxes. I'm working on a Marth, but it's a little shaky. But I might try it out in tournament. But who knows? I just want to get top 8 at something. And every time it goes to a national, it's always Shroom that blocks me. Like 2 Evos already. There's like Genesis 3. I'm like, Dwan, just let me get top 8. He's like, you gotta earn it, Eric. I'm like, so I just got beat Shroomed and somehow beat PPU's Fox and SFAT's Fox. And it's very doable. But it's hard as a Falcon because it's just, if you can't take chase, you're gonna lose.
All right. So on that topic, what do you think the tier list is? Like, you don't have to go through the whole list.
I just go through like viable. Well, top would be Fox, Falco, Puff, Sheik, Marth, and then everything below is like kind of mixed up. I can't think of the top of my head.
Peach?
Falcon,
Peach
yeah, Peach, yeah, Peach.
Ice Climbers?
Ice Climbers, and
Pikachu.
I just know Pikachu. Yeah, I know Falcon is like the bottom of the viable list. I remember seeing Hax's list, and I really liked that one.
You like
So,
Sheik that low?
oh, was Sheik that low? And
Sheik was really low. I forget.
I would put Sheik mid like or high in the viable list, but definitely like Luigi, Ices, and Falcons the last 3.
So I'm curious because you put Puff on the upper end of where people would put Puff. Why is Puff 3?
She has amazing recovery. She can really just zone you out. It's very difficult to whiff punish a back air or a Puff's back air. And her edge guarding is insane. She has a move that kills you on the first frame. And that's the biggest thing for me. It's floaties are hard, especially Puff.
I see. And why is what was it? Mount Marth so low?
I think Marth is a true glass cannon because back then Marth usually do really well on FD, but now like all the spacey punish game is like crazy. So if Marth whiffs like a chain grab on FD, you still could get 0 to death. So I just think it's very, very risky. Yeah.
I see. And then aside from that, you practice once a week. Your goal is a job. You're going to go to Evo. Going to go to any Cal thing in NorCal?
Like locals or nationals?
Either.
Locals more likely. Nationals is like maybe depends on how long the drive is. Even though it's not really that long, and in contrast to like out of state. Right now I don't really keep track of all the tournaments in NorCal, but if I see on the Facebook group and my friends also want to go, usually I'm more inclined to go if like everyone else goes. So if all my high school friends want to go, I'll probably tag along as well.
Who are they?
Who are my friends?
Your high school friends.
God, it's hard because they don't stick with a tag. Well, one of them's name Never Pull Out. She played against PPMD at Evo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. His name is Kim. There's another named Van, which was one of the people that did the
0 to Hero.
0 to Hero. There is a Doc player, Doc/Sheik player, but he keeps switching names. His name's Kevin, but there's so many Kevins out there. just mainly like 3 to 4 people. Just like Kim. There's never pull out. There's Van, there's Kevin, and then this whole bunch more.
I see. And then we get the yearly highlight videos from you.
To be honest, I don't know why people subscribe to me. It's like I upload one video every year. It's
Dude, it's
like
amazing.
you
It's
don't.
like it's like we wait for that moment in like December or January where it's like, oh, yes, the Smash highlight reel came out. Like we're all waiting for Karma on Reddit
Dude, that's
to
true.
post it up.
That's why I never post it myself. I know someone out there will post it for me. But
Yes. So we're waiting for the sweet karma and the sweet footage of what you have in mind next.
it gets really hard because like every year my standards get higher. I can never use the same thing. Like I can't do anything from last year. I try not to repeat any clips, but I'll figure something this year. Something that's a little different.
A little different.
A little different, yeah.
Are you working on any new tech?
New tech, not necessarily, but I have an idea of what the next video might have. It's hard because I haven't been playing as much, but I do want certain clips to be in that video. So I guess in a way, there's a certain tech that will happen in that video, but I guess you guys will have to find out in like 8 months, not 8 9 months from now.
Nice. I'm excited. Well, so I don't have any more questions, but do you have anything you want to add? Shoutouts? Any?
I guess shout outs to everyone that's watching right now. Shout outs to maybe Van or any of my friends that are watching. And shout outs to you, Tafo, for having this interview, spending, a time of your day to have this chat. And yeah, just shout outs to anyone who's played Smash and enjoyed the game because the game's amazing.
Nice, nice. Well, thanks for coming on, Lord. It was really great having you.
Hmm. And then I guess I'll see you sometime at Evo.
Yeah, sounds about
Some,
right.
yeah,
So now you guys know what he looks like.
yeah.